Don't you just hate it when you lay down and try to sleep, then all of a sudden, your subconscious transforms itself into your favorite artist and says,
"You have to make art about your favorite song from your favorite album."
What? But why?
Just because.
You know what? Seems legit. I get your reasons, but how? At least melodrama has album art. What does pure heroine even have? Letters?
You'll figure it out.
Wait, what do I even do with ribs? Lorde? Hello? This dream isn't feeling sweet. Hey everyone, it's Klein again, and this video is up because I had an urge to honor Lorde's ribs by making a keychain. Well, I've got a weird vision about how this project will look, but I'm not even sure if I can pull it off because I'm planning to use resin, which is a medium that I have absolutely no experience with.
Yay! Isn't failure so exciting?
Basically, we're a train wreck waiting to happen. With that said, I looked up what I could use to color the resin, and I realized that I don't even have any fancy tints or inks or mica powders. But the second I saw that I can use acrylic paints, I said, okay sure, 10 seconds of research.
Done?
So I just went ahead and tested the waters by making some tiny letters. I mixed the resin little by little with some white acrylic paint. I'm just starting and I'm already committing a lot of resin crimes
that I'm gonna be serving forever.
See, I'm using a sharp-ish thing to mix on a mold, and that left a lot of scratches on it. I'm so sorry for being a noob, but I promise I'm learning and I'll never do this again. This sounds early, but at this point, my fear of ruining everything was already creeping up because the paint and the resin look so grainy. Maybe I'm just not in the swing of things yet.
Or maybe you should have done some more research.
Right now, it looks kind of translucent, but if I keep adding paint, I don't know if it'll cure because what I read said that the paint to resin ratio, basically it has to be a certain percentage. But I took the risk anyway and just hoped for the best. After worrying a lot about wasting resin, the letters turned out just fine anyway, so I kept going and made the rest of the letters for the album. Up next, I'm making the base by using this square mold and mixing up some black acrylic paint and resin. Once again, it's not as solid as I thought it would be. I don't know if I was just really impatient and maybe I should have just swirled it around some more, but I kept it that way. The reason is that it looks cool and galaxy-like, and it's definitely not just because I'm lazy and I don't know what I'm doing with resin. Anyway, it took me like half an hour of curing this square off camera under my UV light, and halfway through, I checked to see if it worked or if this was a waste of time. I was so worried because at first it kept sticking to my hand, but I kept my hopes up and cured it so many more times until it finally stopped having attachment issues with my hand. Now I've got an obviously huge problem. It's so ugly. Resin is supposed to look smooth and cool, but what is this abomination? I've already wasted enough material to just throw this away. I don't want to fail myself. I want the applause, the approval,
The things that make you go.
That was too much. I couldn't give up, so I thought I'd trim and level the sides using scissors and my crafting knife. And that's when I decided to use this nail file block thing because I did another quick research and saw that I can definitely use this for resin pieces. All I had to do was follow the steps so conveniently written on the block. Yeah, sounds easy enough, and thankfully, after a lot of patience with sanding and scrubbing, I managed to make it look even uglier than before. What is this? What are all these holes? Wait, they're singing.
We might be hollow, but we're brave.
I was promised shine. Where's the shine? Where's the polish? Again, I was scared, and I admit I thought it was all over and that I should just scrap the idea and give up on resin crafting forever. And on top of that, I damaged my filing block. So right now, you're watching me fall apart with all my heart. But as I was trying to wash off the scratches and the shame, I realized that maybe I was just missing a step. This drop of water made me realize perhaps the legends are true, that putting a coat of resin on top of this will make it translucent again. I'm sorry for being dumb again, but for some reason I thought physics wouldn't work for me this time. Being intimidated by the craft will do that to you. Oh well, you learn something new every day, and I'm just glad I'm able to have this valuable new experience. So here I am, applying a coat of resin so I can stick the letters, and I did a ton of adjustments to make it look right, and once again, I'm afraid of imperfection. Once I turn on that UV light, I can't change the placement of the letters anymore. What if it looks crooked and doesn't look nice? So I kept on nudging things here and there on a micro scale until it felt kinda right, I hope. Okay, let's see. That's not so bad. Oh my god, that E looks so far from H. Looks like it's fleeing from the disaster. R, they don't like each other. Between N and E looks too narrow. My ideas, my hopes, my dreams. Don't you see how fast they fall apart? So after drinking some tea and listening to some pure heroine and melodrama, I am now sad. But at least I'm calm, and that's better than being frustrated, and now we can move on. So I'm covering up my mistakes with a thick blob of resin. Well, that didn't really cover it up, more like preserved it for everyone to see, and doing my best to remove those pesky air bubbles and level the surface. Then I cured it for about 16 minutes, just to be sure, and now I let myself embrace the point of no return, and thankfully I'm at peace with how it looks like. Moving on to the clay and ribs side of this thingamajig, I thought it would be nice and silly to make miniature ribs. Because, I'm going to make some bone shapes using a mixture of gray, brown, and white polymer clay. I rolled a thin log and made 6 cuts because I want some extras just in case. I'm making one side of the bone slimmer than the other and giving that a slight curve. I'm gonna paint these before baking it so that the color will stick. I'm using a drop of water and soft pastels in dark brown, darker brown, light gray, light beige, cheese yellow, dull yellow, light brown, and reddish brown. I don't think I even needed all those colors, but I was just winging it at the time. I'd say that the most essential ones were the dark and light browns, just to accentuate the bone marrow thing, and I also gave the bone some random shading to it. It doesn't have to be super exact, and I think that's the beauty of making miniature food. So here I am, carefully transferring the bones to a silicone, heat-resistant base filled with cornstarch. This is a great way to bake because it will prevent your creations from being deformed. After baking, I selected which bones I like the best. So this is awkward, but it's clear that someone's gotta go. Now I'm gonna make the meat of the ribs with a mixture of white, light brown, brown, and flesh polymer clay, and I'm using these just because there were some leftovers that I had laying around. I'm using my trusty liquid polymer clay to stick the meat to the bone, and I just kept on shaping the base of the meat and trimming the excess with a crafting knife until I was happy with these things. Then I'm using this needle because it's really thin, and I sculpted some strokes to make it look more like meat fibers. Now I'm carefully brushing the details using the browns and reds to make it look like it was cooked in a barbecue. I focused on the toasty color on the edges of the meat, and I also flattened the bottom with a sculpting tool and a Q-tip dipped in alcohol. It also helps to retouch some of that texture that I lost if ever I brushed the color too hard. Finally, I'm transferring that to my baking thing. After that, I thought I'd add a little more color using red, dark brown, and black acrylic paint to make it look a little more roasted. I darkened the tops, the edges, and the marrows. When I finished drying these, I thought to myself, what else can I do to make this look more like food?
Everything will glow for you if you add some green.
Yeah. So I took some green clay and cut some very thin slices out of that and added some random textures to mimic the look of greens. Are they scallions, chilies, wasabi? We'll never know. But go ahead, past self, go all the way, have your fun, and make some more to scatter around the base. And now we're in the home stretch, and I'm just positioning the ribs and the greens with tweezers. Again, I'm using UV resin as the glue, then I'm globbing a lot of resin, which I kinda regret because I feel like I put too much in the middle, but at that time, there's nothing here to stop this weirdness. And now I'm letting you know that it looks like some weird takeout food wrapped in plastic. Very appetizing. But what's done is done, and I'm finalizing this work by filling in some air bubbles and smoothing the sides with some more resin. Finally, here I am with my finished piece and modeling this shame outside with my hand. I swear I tried, so remember, we're on each other's team, so try not to look too long and hard at these ribs so we can all believe that it's hyper real. At least let me live that fantasy. I mean, it's obviously not blue-worthy, but okay, maybe down the back.
In the trash.
Wait, I'm supposed to save that for my other vision, the melodramatic onion rings. Honestly, overall, I'm surprised that it looks kinda, dare I say, decent. It looks tacky and it makes me laugh so much, but it's my own weird and sentimental way to show that I really appreciate Lorde's music because those helped me in my troubling times. And I hope that you too have also found some music for your soul.
Oh, that's alright.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button. I really appreciate the support, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here at Kleinbeld.